Hey everybody, Stuart McAdam here. Thank you very much for tuning in today. I'm really excited to have you here because I'm going to be talking about Facebook lead generation ads for small businesses. It's a great tool for anyone who's looking to grow their customer base online with an organic or paid form of advertising. And the reason why Facebook lead generations are so important is because they remove the necessity to move from different avenues. So rather than going from an ad to a landing page to a form to a completion, you can get all the information that you need from a potential client in one place, which is just on Facebook, and it's all there. So let's jump right into a couple of the things that you need to consider in order to get it growing and build it out successfully. So the first thing that you need to have for Facebook lead generation is you need to have a good idea of your target market and who you want to reach. So if you're somebody who is in real estate, for example, you're going to want to reach people that have got an interest in buying or selling a house. Now, the way in which you can do that is creating lead generation forms that are able to really connect with people who are looking to do those things. So you could have information like a simple lead generation ad. Looking to sell your home? Get in touch with me today. Are you looking to buy a home? Get in touch with me today. And then obviously you'd want to expand that message out a bit more, make it as compelling and as engaging as possible. Now, the second thing that you want to do with Facebook lead generation forms is you want to really drive traffic to completing the form. And the best way to do that is to only get the information that you absolutely need initially. So that could be the person's name, number, could be their phone address, phone number, could be their email address, and just what exactly it is that they need help with. Do you need help selling your home? Do you need help buying a home? If you are in my line of business, it could be something like, do you need help getting more leads online? Do you need help with Facebook lead generation ads? Get in touch with me today. And really just make sure that you're driving home that message to people so that they can see that you're the expert and you know what you're talking about. Now, in terms of the best practices for Facebook lead generation ads for small businesses, I would recommend having anywhere from 2 to 5 videos that you can test out. Make sure they're at least 30 seconds and maybe up to 90 seconds, because that seems to be the good time length for people to consume media effectively. And you really want to make sure that anybody who is having a look at these things is, really engaged and captivated by it. Like, I've got a client that recently that I recently started working with that has a product that helps people put their shoes on and off. And we actually we recently started to create ads which just had different thumbnails from throughout the video. And it's a really effective tool, and it's really useful and helpful for anybody who's looking to really just get an effective sort of personal interaction and connection with their brand. And the thing that I find quite useful about that sort of thing is, you're building trust, because, it's one thing to have the best message in the world that people are really looking out to and really looking to connect with and say like, oh, I've got a problem and, how can you possibly address my solution? It's another thing altogether to build that, personal trust and establish that, enough trust for that person to want to fill out that form and give their information there. Now, I did just mention something there which is also very important as well, and that is having different thumbnails. Now, thumbnails are basically sort of still screenshots that come from throughout the video that people see at the start of the video. So whether or not a video automatically plays or whether there's just like sort of got to click on it to see what happens, the thumbnail is the first thing that they will see. So I've saw one from a guy who is a pretty prominent digital marketer. His name's Sabri Subi, And what I can remember is he had one where he had like, about 15 different heads of his sort of just in the thumbnail. And, it's quite an odd and unusual thing, but it really worked well because it captured my attention and it made me want to click on the video. And I did that a couple of times because I just found it very interesting. Not just the thumbnail itself, but also what he had to say. Now, we're going to go on to sort of like thumbnails in terms of quality. Just make sure it's a decent resolution. Make sure that it's something that's actually communicating the message as effectively as possible. So if you have got, say, like a testimonial from a client who's saying, we brought and sold our house, one of the most effective pictures you could have there is you and your client shaking hands, smiling at the camera, and make it look nice and natural and fresh. Don't make it look sort of too tacky or stock image like. Try to keep it simple. Next thing you want to have as well is you want to make sure that your budget is at a size where you can properly engage and capture people, in a reasonable sense. Now, one of the things that I found very effective is having a budget that sits anywhere from $15 to $50 a day. I find that if you go under that limit, you tend to have not enough budget capacity to do some proper testing on your ads and really get a good understanding of what your target market looks like. If you go over that and you're not sensible about slowly scaling up and making sure you're using ads that have proven performers, then you find that your average cost per lead blows way out of proportion, which, if you're a small business with a limited marketing budget, is not the kind of situation you want to find yourself in. Now, next thing too, in terms of video ads versus carousel ads versus still image ads, look, you've got to try that out on yourself. On your own business, you've got to experiment. You've got to make sure that what you are doing has some level of, testability. Is that a word, testability? Hope so. And you want to make sure that it's really being used effectively and consistently, because a lot of people are going to have very short attention spans, and if they don't like the particular way in which they consume media, then they're not going to be using or looking at your ad if their preference is video and you've got a text ad, or if their preference is like carousel type images and you've got a video ad in front of them. So make sure you try different things out and have those variations available. Now, the final thing, and this is something that I talk about all the time, both to clients online, here on YouTube, anywhere you care to mention, is having different test audiences that you are going after. Now, I've got an image that I had from a recent MailChimp campaign that was talking about lead generation ads, sort of like an invite there. And I don't know I'll see if I can include the link. Let's see. Copy the link address. So I'll share it in the comments section here. So you can see that's the raw data in that image of the campaign. So that's having a look at the lifetime campaigns that I've run to grow my email marketing list for small and local business owners. So this is in English-speaking countries primarily, and it's aimed to get people to sign up to my email marketing list to get regular updates on marketing tips and hacks. Now, as you can see in the video there, I'll just give you a bit of time to access it. Okay, so as you can see there, like I've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different audiences that I've tested. And as you can see, the sort of cost per lead varies at all from getting nothing in some countries to sort of getting some good ones, going more broad-based to sort of New Zealand, Australia, and Canada, and then having a hyper-targeted list or hyper-targeted test, which was based on a couple of the key metrics and findings that came out of that, and then using those key ones and really just drilling down even more on those the people that we were getting great results with from the New Zealand, Australia, and Canada, and the hyper-targeted test, isolating them and putting them into a new ad set altogether. And as you can see there, the cost per lead went from an already, I would say, reasonably impressive 96 cents to just 17 cents per lead. So that's something which I was incredibly happy with. And look, I'm not going to give away all my secrets here, because obviously I want to add value to my clients later on when I do start working with them and running their ads for them. But the biggest thing I can say there is that I was just able to identify some of the key metrics and measures of the people who I was targeting: their name, their interests, and where they live, what time of the day they're online, and how they best engage to the message which I was communicating with them. I tried about 25 different messages. So that gives you a bit of an indication as to how much I'm experimenting. 25 different messages with 6 different audiences, with many different photos as well. I would say about 6 or 7 different photos. So, you go 25 times 6 is 150 times 7. That's over 1,000 different ways, 1,000 different ad variations. Never mind, some of the other variables as well that I included as well, such as remarketing and lookalikes and that kind of thing as well. But that's in another ad campaign altogether. So that gives you an indication as to how many people I reached using lead generation forms. And the good thing as well about this, and I've put this in the description, is that people's attention spans are short. They're shorter and shorter these days. In fact, there's been recent research that's found that the average attention span is shorter than a goldfish. So a couple of seconds. So if you can save your potential lead time having to go through a lot of different hoops, if you can make it as easy as possible for them to share their information and share their problem, which you can provide a solution for, with lead generation forms on Facebook, you are onto a winner. So I'm going to leave it at that. Thanks very much for tuning in. If you found this video useful, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I try and put a new video up every single week. It's something which, for small and local businesses is incredibly helpful, just sort of providing some free marketing tips and hacks. So have a great day, and we'll see you later.